Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate fantasy Premier League content for the 2023-24 season. My name is Dan, and I'm feeling good today. I'm actually feeling pretty good. We already did a stream earlier today. I'm sure a few of you guys jumped in on it. And yeah, we went over all the press conferences and stuff because it's all last minute. But we'll show all the press conference news again in this stream, I imagine, because yeah, there's lots of press conference stuff to discuss, as there always is. But yeah, I'm feeling happy. Been on a walk today. We went on Instagram and answered a few of your questions during the walk. So yeah, if you guys want to, I know I'm not on Twitter at the moment, but if you guys want to follow me over on on Instagram, sorry. Instagram is at FPL Mate. We do a couple of short form videos on there, and we occasionally do some stories stuff as well. So I thank you for those of you guys who submitted questions there, and hopefully we're able to give a few answers and opinions on those ones. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited to jump into another excellent game week of FPL. Yeah, Friday deadline, so we get to start a little bit earlier. I always prefer a Friday deadline. I don't know why. It's harder for content, but it means I don't have to get up early on a Saturday morning and do all my last minute research and stuff. So yeah, I'm not a morning person, so these evening deadlines are a little bit better for me. But I appreciate, depending on where you are in the world, it could be a little bit tougher at this time. But yeah, guys, appreciate you joining me today. I know why you're here. You want the UDOGIE news, don't you? Is UDOGIE playing? Is UDOGIE playing? Oh, I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you for sure right now. Yeah, the news right now is that there is no news. I've tried to get it. We haven't got anything right this moment. Hopefully by the end of this stream, the view is that it is going to get leaked, but not quite yet. Spurs are trying to keep it under wraps, because obviously whether UDOGIE plays or not is going to really impact the way Spurs set up and how Crystal Palace set up as well. So it's kind of a little bit of a big deal for this news to come out as late as possible for the benefit of Spurs, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I'm really still hoping that we are going to get it, because I haven't made my transfers yet for this game week, and depending on what the UDOGIE situation is, that's gonna basically impact what I do for my transfers. Like, I'll show you my team, guys. I'll show you my team, and then we'll I'll go through what my thought process is right now. We need to do a bench list, of course, today as well, which we will get onto at some point or another, I'm sure. But yes, this is my team at this moment. I'm on Salah captain at the moment, but I'm really tempted by Watkins captain. Really tempted by Watkins captain. They play at the same time on Sunday, so that's going to be like really annoying. And waiting for that long for your captain to play as well is. It sure is something, so that could be an interesting one. But really, my decision is, who am I going to transfer? I'm either going to do UDOGIE to Gabriel. I'm set on Gabriel versus Simicast. I think I'm set on Gabriel now. And if UDOGIE does start today, I'm not going to do that transfer, and I'm instead going to do just Madison to Saka. I think that's kind of what I want to do. Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna try and wait, but in many ways, if we don't get any news, I think we will. If we don't get any news, I might go ahead with the UDOGIE to Gabriel transfer anyway, because it's a transfer I want to make eventually anyway. So it makes a lot of sense to just do it, really. I think I can wait for Saka for 2 more game weeks, which might be nice to do. The only problem is price changes and stuff like that. I don't think I'd get priced out, but I'm already really tight on the things I want to do ideally. And yeah, it really depends, because I also want to do Soucek to Palmer at some point in the future, and that's going to cost 0.1 million. Also, Madison to Saka, that would only leave me 0.1 in the bank. So I guess it depends if I make more transfers before then. I imagine I probably will. I mean, I could always, DRB to like Mitoma is something I thought about. Soucek to Adingra is another like transfer I thought about that I could possibly do in the upcoming game weeks. There's a few options. I'm still fairly open, but I've got some players that I'm clearly targeting and some rough moves that I'm very much targeting as well. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, it's all gonna start today. It's all gonna start today. The plan of transfers, the passage of transfers. It's gonna depend on the UDOGIE news, really. Ash with a super chat, nice and early, says sell at Son/Trippier if Son. If Son, can Maddison cover for him? I wouldn't really be wanting to sell Son and Trippier at all. If you've got them, I would be keeping them. I'd be keeping both of those players. I don't really think Maddison can fully cover Son either. Obviously, Maddison is going to be creating for a lot of Son's goals, but in general, Son is the big hitter. He's the one who's going to be getting the mega hauls. He's the one who's going to be the captaincy option, you know. And Maddison is a decent pick, but he's not quite got that explosiveness where he's going to be getting the 15 pointers, if you like. He's probably capable of it, to be fair, but I just can't see that happening very often. He seems like more of a consistent tick-along kind of player. But in the more difficult fixtures against Palace and against Chelsea, I'm not sure. But Son, with the form that he's in at the moment, man, oh man, I think he could do really well. People are asking for a captain poll. We did one earlier, to be fair. In fact, we've done two. In both of our streams we've done this week, we've done this exact same poll, but we can do it again if you like. It seems to be the same answer coming up every time. Sorry, I'm allergic to lack of UDOGIE news. Right, let's do a poll. Who is the best captain? Oh, wait, hang on. Captain for Game Week 10. Apologies, guys, if you've had to vote in this one already, but you're going to have to vote again. It's going to be the options of Salah, Watkins, Haaland, and Saka. I think those are the big four. I wouldn't really be looking to captain Son this week. It could be an okay captain pick, but he's not in my top four favourites, so he's not going on the poll. He's not going on the poll, so there we go. I imagine the results will be pretty similar to what they were last time. Let's see. But yeah, I think the big thing for this stream, obviously, is me waiting for the phone to ring. I'm waiting for the giant phone to ring with some news. And Postecoglou, if you're watching the stream, and you might be, I know you're a big fan of FPL, my friend. If you're watching the stream, get on the blower, get on the phone. We need the news. The boys need the news, and the girls, everyone. We all need the news. It's got to be done. A lot of people were debating captaincy, of course. Salah and Watkins seem to be the standouts, though. They really do seem to be the standouts. I'm surprised to see Haaland so low. I really am. But I guess we'll see what happens there. Right, should we... We've got 50 minutes till deadline. And I'm going to have to shoot off fairly quickly when deadline finishes, because Mrs. FPL Mate finishes work at 6:30, and I need to go and make sure I've cooked dinner in time, ready for when she gets home, because I'm a fantastic husband, and I want to get all of that sorted so I can sit down and watch the football this evening. So yeah, and yeah, I want to play some weekend league, FC24 weekend league tonight as well, trying to get that 14 wins, which has eluded me for the last couple of weeks. I've got so close last couple of weeks on weekend league champs, but yeah, we need to get the elusive 14 wins. I think I could do it. Right, bench list. So guys, what I want you to do is tell me in the chat a player that you are considering benching. So a player in the chat that you're considering benching, and we will throw them on the bench list and try and put things into some kind of order. Nobody is on there at the moment. In fact, nobody is on there twice. If you haven't heard of the player called Nobody, it's because the player called Nobody doesn't exist. But hopefully we can replace the Nobodies with some somebodies, I guess. Ash with a super chat here says, sell Trippier and get Adingra, Bowen and Son, or sell Son. None of them, really. I mean, for transfers, no. If you're on a wild card, I guess you could sell Trippier to get Son and the other guys. I guess you are. I think it's probably safer to have Son, maybe. I don't know. I still do really like Trippier, though. Really like Trippier. But yeah, I guess if you had to pick one of Trippier and Son, and that is the question here, then I guess go for Son. Righty ho, let's we've got loads of players. Let's throw Neto on there first of all, because he plays against Newcastle, and I appreciate that's a bit of a toughie. It's a bit of a toughie. So we need to figure out who we're going to play ahead of Neto. We wouldn't be looking to play Gahey at all. And I'm going to put Anderson there as well. Lascelles, I think I would rather play than some of these guys. In fact, I'd probably put Lascelles ahead of Neto, to be honest. I'm not expecting too much from Wolves this game week. What else have we got? Misselmar is going right to the top. I'm not going to put UDOGIE on there because we don't even know if he's going to be playing or not. Simicast you play, for sure. Alvarez you play, for sure. Probably ahead of pretty much everyone. Who else have we got here? Gordon? You play Gordon. But, like, maybe not super high. Maybe, like, here. Taylor, I would avoid playing Taylor sort of at all costs, really. Although, to be fair, I'd rather play Taylor than the Crystal Palace defenders. Not feeling confident about them at all. We've got Morris against Aston Villa, which I actually don't think is that bad. I would maybe put Morris here. Darwin, a few people saying Darwin. Okay, we'll throw him on. I would look to play Darwin. Gabriel, you play. Maybe here. Prefer Gabriel to Simicast this week. Adingra, lots of people saying Adingra. Adingra, you play probably here. And Mbumo is another popular one here. And Mbumo, who plays against Chelsea, doesn't he? So he would go not super high. And we know he's going to play on the wing this week as well. So, he is on penalties, though. I'm going to put him here. Right, Raya, he can be our first goalkeeper in there. Ariola's going to go underneath him. Dan Burn, a few people have Dan Burn. I will put him ahead of Lascelles. Ward-Prowse is a popular one here as well. Interesting one. Ward-Prowse against Everton, right? At home. I think I'd put Ward-Prowse here. Johnston would go the bottom here. Allison, people got Allison, really? All right. Allison, I'm never fully confident in. I guess we'll put him here. If you're spending that much money on a... Wait, is that how you spell Allison? Is it two... I always forget. Is it two S's or two L's? Hopefully I've got that right. Palmer. Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer can go down here. Andrew's got a super chat here. Says, hey Dan, play Forster. Forster. Do you mean Foster from Burnley? Over Mads or Diaby, only two. I wouldn't play... I don't think I would play Forster over Maddison or Diaby. No. No, I don't think I would. I would still consider playing him, but I'm going to put him here. I'd definitely play Maddison and Diaby ahead of him. In fact, we'll put Maddison and Diaby on here. Diaby, I would definitely be looking to play. I saw from something from FPL Meerkat. I don't know if he's in the chat or not. Sometimes he joins in the stream. He was in the stream earlier. Meerkat, if you're here, let yourself be known. He would put up a really, really interesting graphic about where Luton concede their goals from, and a lot of them are from the right winger, from that right wing position, which is going to really favour Diaby. So it might actually be a weak spot for Luton. I think that's because they kind of play with a left back. They play Amari Bell in that left centre back position, perhaps, who's not like a natural centre back, but he is not available. I don't know who's going to be playing there if they stick with the back five formation. They might even, like, Luton could even go for a back four formation, which is why I'm really tempted by the Watkins captaincy. I'm really tempted by it because if they are missing, you know, if they're missing players, that's going to be very, very significant. Very significant. He's in the Juice stream. Okay. Thanks, Dan. Well, fair enough. Yeah, are they doing some kind of live stream? Like I kind of want to see what they're up to. I'm going to have a look on my phone. Let's see what the FPL Juice boys are up to. We won't do it live on here, but oh yeah, I see. Oh, they're like like in a pub on a sofa. That's quite cool. Love that. Love that from them. Right, anyway. I'm not putting a doggy on here until we find out if he's playing or not, which I will keep checking every 10 minutes to see if we've got any new news. New news? All news is new. That's why it's called news. Otherwise it'd be called olds. Pedro Porro. Okay, Pedro Porro I would look to play ahead of most of the defenders here. I would put Pedro Porro here, just behind Gabriel. Oh, actually he's streaming himself now. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, he's doing everything. He's all over the place. Fair play, man. Fair play. God, there's a lot of players you guys are considering benching. There's all manner of player. Right, okay. Apparently UDOGIE is with the squad. So that's the latest latest news. I'll update that on my ticker. UDOGIE is with the squad. Now, whether that means he's starting or not is a different question. Hopefully we get more information as time goes by. But UDOGIE is with the squad. Excellent news. Right. Right, let's throw in Fabian Schär because it's easier because I can just throw him in with all of the other Newcastle guys. Darwin Núñez is already on there. Why not bench Alvarez when you said he's not starting? I've never said Alvarez isn't starting. I think he will start. He was rested midweek because obviously he's been struggling with playing so many games. So I think because he didn't start midweek, I think that's really good news for Alvarez owners. I think he should start. Yeah, big game against Manchester United. You wouldn't be too surprised. Are people really wondering whether they should bench Cash or not? Absolutely do not bench Matty Cash. Do not do it. He would be one of my favourite players for this game week. Harry Bow with a £5 super chat says, Crystal Palace's Anderson to Gabriel. I'm pretty sure Gunners will get a clean sheet, but it would be for a -4. So -4 plus 6 points net 2. Would I do it? No, I don't think I would do it because I think over the next 2 game weeks, if we look at the next 2 game weeks, including the -4 point, I think Gabriel -4 will score less than Anderson without a hit. So for that reason, I would say no. Just take your. It's really tough. But I would just take your L this week if you like. And from next week, Palace have really nice fixtures. Really nice fixtures. Right. Roshan with another super chat here says, do you think I should start João Pedro for Brighton and Mitoma? Both played midweek, afraid of rotation. Yeah, I would play them. The problem is with Brighton is that they don't really have too many options at the moment. They've got a lot of injuries. Welbeck and March, the latest injuries there. So yeah, I would play both of them. I think they'll both start probably, but it's worth the risk. I think it's worth the risk. I do. There's a lot of really random players, people are saying. I'm not putting in like the super low-owned players in here. But we'll put like the more obvious players. Gusto again. I would possibly play. I'd be happy to play Gusto. I would put him pretty low, don't get me wrong, but I would be happy to play him ahead of some of these other guys. Mark says, just done Gvardiol, and Boomer, and Flecken to Gabriel, Bowen, and Turner for a -4. Is that a dub or an L? I think that's a dub, Mark. I think that's a dub. Yeah, I like it. Even for a -4, I like it. I do like it. All right, a few people are asking for Bowen. Bowen and Douglas Luiz seem to be the popular ones. Okay, let's throw them in. All right, Bowen, I would be looking to start, pretty confidently, to be honest, against West Ham. he'd probably go like here. And Douglas Luiz was the other one. Douglas Luiz, I would probably start him. Like, I would maybe put Douglas Luiz here. If you have him, you start him, right? Pretty much. But there are better options. You are really hoping for a penalty. Anyway, how about Sofal? Sofal is possibly injured. He's possibly injured. Paul says, just join the stream. Is there any UDOGIE news? Yes, we're working on it, my friend. So far, we've got that UDOGIE is with the squad. He is with the squad. We don't know if that means he's going to be starting or not. I think that's a good... Personally, I think that's a good sign. Because I think UDOGIE really suits this game. So if he is like kind of available, then I think he'll play. And it sounds like he is kind of available. But does he make it to 60 minutes? That's another question we need to answer. I don't know. Harry Bo says, I like that Gabriel answer. You're a prince and a gentleman. My confirmation bias has been satisfied. Well, that's the most important thing. As long as the confirmation bias is satisfied. That's, I mean, I feel like a big role of the FPL content creator is not to give tips. It's not really to entertain or do anything like that. It's just to give confirmation bias to people. So I mean, if we're succeeding in that way, then good stuff. It's why like I always feel so bad when I do like the avoids on like my buy sell keep avoid video or tier list video where I put players in the avoid section. A lot of these players, the reason they're on these lists is because people are buying these players. And when a lot of people are buying these players, none of them saying, you know, I wouldn't really buy them, to be honest. The confirmation bias is not satisfied and people are not happy with that. They are not happy with that. But hey, that's what happens when you make early transfers, I guess. That's what happens. Yes. I'm guessing half the chat is just going to be saying UDOGIE until the end of time. I will do my best. I will do my best. Right. Those of you guys asking about captaincy as well. The obvious answer, the people's answer, if you like, is going to be Salah. You can see that we've got a poll running at the moment in the chat, and by far the most popular player in the poll is Salah at 62%, followed by Watkins 22%. So yeah, make of that what you will. I think if you are going for anyone other than Salah, you really are counting on Salah's luck running out, and I don't know if that's a wise bet to make. I'll put it that way. Because Salah is a lucky man. Like, I say lucky. He's like the guy who doesn't need to play well to get FPL points. He'll come in with a random penalty or score a goal against the run of play. Or not necessarily against the run of play, but like a counter attack when his team don't have the ball or something like that. And it'll kind of come out of nowhere. Yeah, that's the kind of goals that Salah scores. His creativity, though, is good. He gets assists just from like being pure quality creator at the moment. But you are hoping for penalties, really. If you're a Salah captain, you are hoping for a penalty, and there's no guarantee whether that's going to happen or not. No guarantee at all. But yeah, are you willing to bet a bet that Salah will not get a big, lucky, amazing penalty captaincy haul? If you want to make that bet, then be my guest. There are some other options, I guess. Right, let's go back to the bench list. Turner is on there as well. I'm going to throw Turner in pretty low. To be honest, against Liverpool, he'd probably go bottom of this list. Somewhere like that. Wilson, I would definitely start. We've got Isak's going to be out for a few weeks, so I would definitely look to start Wilson. We know how potent he can be when he's guaranteed to play. Wilson can go at the top there. Onana, oh yeah, no, I think he's going to go even lower. So yeah, Alvarez to Mitoma, yes, no. I mean, you can't make that in one transfer. I wouldn't do that in two transfers, no. Right, John O. McFall says Liverpool essential Son and Watkins to Salah. No, I wouldn't sacrifice both Son and Watkins for Salah. Yeah, it's difficult. It's going to be a struggle without Salah, but I wouldn't sacrifice both Son and Watkins for him. Not both. One is fine. Two, no. And Nan says, did UDOGIE to Gabriel use second free transfer for Burn to Simicast. I don't think you need to do that, no. I'd be happy to go with Burn this game week. Definitely a non-essential transfer, a luxury transfer. I'd probably roll the transfer if I was in that situation. Probably. A lot of people are asking for Soshek. I guess you are following my team very, very closely. All right. Well, we won't put him very high. I'm not going to lie. He can go like here. But he's a 4.9 million midfielder. You got to manage your expectations. You really do. So he's going to go pretty low. We all need a doggy team news. Yes, Owen, me too, my friend. I need it just as much as anyone else. I really do. Harry Maguire bench list? Yeah, there's no way I would play Harry Maguire this week. I wouldn't mind having him in my squad, but there's no way I would play him. Adzi says sell Trippier to fund Watkins, replace with Gabriel. Oh, I wouldn't be happy to do it, but if that's the only way to do it, then I guess you might have to. It's like quite luxury though, and I wouldn't do it for a -4. Irish guy says, who to sell? Doggy, Madison, Son, James Ward-Prowse have 2 transfers. If a doggy starts, then you don't need to sell him. Madison, Ward-Prowse is the only player there who I would be happy to sell. None of the other players I'd be happy to sell, unless the doggy is not starting, in which case I'd sell him. I guess out of those 4 players, I'd be most likely to sell Ward-Prowse and a doggy. Those 2 guys. I would be willing to sell Madison for the right player, but it's not something I'd be really, really enthusiastic about. Red Bull Vodka says, I'm doing a free hit. I would advise against that one. I would strongly advise against that one. Trust me, when we get to the double game weeks and the blank game weeks later on in the season, you will regret any decision. What's Destiny's destiny, says Ewan. This is what we need to know, isn't it? Right, we've got half an hour. Let's see if I've got any new news. No olds allowed, just news. Let's see if anyone has got anything. Doesn't look like we've got anything at the moment. Other than he's with the squad. But that doesn't even necessarily mean he's in the squad. Just could have just travelled in the He could have just travelled with the team and is just gonna hang out with them. Just wants to be Bezzy mates with all of them. Yeah, we got nothing. Sorry guys. We'll keep looking. I'll have another look in about 10 minutes. But he was on the bus. So that's something. ELTA says, should I buy Salah? I would say so, yeah. Laser says, please mate, get Foden into conversation. I mean, if we have to. Like, he's not really a player that's doing super well at the moment. If you have him, like, I guess you play him, but there are better options. Foden can go... he goes somewhere in this area. I guess you have to put him ahead of some of these guys, wouldn't you? Ødegaard on the bench list. You play Ødegaard if you have him. Probably not ahead of some of these guys, but you would typically play him. I put him like here. He is going to count on stealing penalties from Saka though, right? Well, no, to be fair, like, maybe that's a bit harsh. I'm going to put him a little higher. But to be fair, a lot of these players at the top of this list are good players. So it's not really a slight on Ødegaard to be putting him like, well, where's that? 6th on the bench list? It's pretty good. Faisal says, play Veltman or Lascelles. I would never play Veltman. Really. I guess it's a decent fixture against Fulham. I would still play Lascelles though. I just don't trust the Brighton defence at all. The only Brighton defender I'm remotely interested in is Estupinian, and that's only because of his attacking threat. Not because of the defence. If for clean sheets alone, I don't trust any Brighton defender. Madison on the bench list? Alright, fine. I would put him here. We're filling it up now, boys. We're filling it up. Can I add Bruno to the bench list? I guess so. If someone's going to get an attacking return against Man City, it's probably going to be Bruno Fernandes. So I'm going to put him... here. B. Fernandes. Let's put him like that. Josh says you might want to check FC24 evolutions, Dan. Really? Why? What's dropped? What has just dropped? Let me know, Josh. What's going on? Olivier says, hey Dan, Foster and Palmer on Nketiah and 4.4 fodder. If you're going to bench them every week, then I guess just take the fodder. Like, Nketiah is a real nice differential whilst Jesus is out. But it is a transfer. You are going to have to make a transfer, like, soon to get him back out. But I think there are a couple of other options. Like, you got like João Pedro and maybe who else? Ferguson that you can maybe pivot to when you need it. What do you think of Fatty? He might start. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting pick. It's a bit bold. It's a bit risky. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Ooh, Josh says you can make 84 rated CDMs, 87. That is nuts. Ooh, who are the... Oh, you know what? Well, I'm not going to do this in the in this stream. I bet that costs a lot, though, doesn't it? It's like 75k, I bet, or 100k. For that evolution. I'm going to have a close look at that. Oh, who should I evolve? I could do with a French CDM in my team. But, different conversation for a different time. Because we've got super chats. From I'm Just Dan 1 says, Saka and Alvarez or Bowen and Watkins for this game week? I would go for Bowen and Watkins. I think I just prefer that combo. I like both combos, but I think I prefer that one. Benchless Antonio. I will put Antonio on because for some reason my wife has put Antonio in her team this week. So it's 150k. Oh, forget that. Forget that then. Unless there's some really meta cards to put in there. There's no way I'm doing that. Yeah, Mrs. FPL Mate bought Antonio this week for some reason. So I'm as her Welbeck replacement. Don't ask. So I guess we can put him somewhere. Like here, I guess. Pretty low. Pretty darn low. Solanke on the bench list. Okay. So Solanke plays against Burnley, doesn't he? So it's actually a pretty decent fixture for him. He's on penalties as well. Few things to like. So he has to go in a similar position to Foster, I guess. I will put him ahead, though. Cash for a doggy? Yeah, if you can afford to get cash for a doggy, then yeah, I'll definitely think about it. Edison? Yeah, you could play Edison, potentially. Not ahead of many, or all of the players, but ahead of some. Add a doggy there. There's no point in me adding a doggy because... Alright, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll add two a doggies. I'll add a doggy if he doesn't start, and a doggy if he does start. So if a doggy, if he's starting, would go... I mean, to be fair, not even that high. I'd put him... I guess... Here. And we'll put another doggy in. If he doesn't start, you don't play him. You don't want to get a one-pointer. The best case scenario is a one-pointer, isn't it? And that's not what we want. Raz says, no questions, just love for everything you do for us. Raz, you are a legend. Thank you so much. Like, means the world. Really, really does mean the world, and it's absolutely my pleasure. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Really, really am. It's a smile on my face. It really, really does. Thank you, mate. Really, really appreciate that. Luca says, transfer dilemma. Saka or Watkins in, who to prioritise? I think depends who you're selling, really, doesn't it? Neto, Madison, Ward-Prowse, Alvarez. I have 2 free transfers, nothing in the bank. Was thinking to get Ollie for this week. Yeah, I think Saka can wait until 12. Watkins is more of like an urgent player. You're going to have to sell Alvarez, right? So I guess you sell Alvarez and maybe Ward-Prowse if you can make that work. Jandro says, hi Dan, Madison and Neto to Bowen and Mitoma, no hit. Yeah, I'd think about it. I would think about it. That's a pretty good pair of moves. Like the second two are definitely better than the first two, right? Aren't they? Yeah, kind of. I like that. I like that, Jandre. Francisco says, flip a coin between your top 2 captain picks. I don't have a coin. I have the toin cost. We haven't done the toin cost in ages. Anyone in the chat remember the toin cost? It's like a coin toss, but when you haven't got a coin. And what I usually use is this this remote for my RGB lights. And we have the colourful side and the boring side. So we do a toin cost. The colourful side is always the exciting pick, and the blank side is always the boring pick. So I guess the 2 top captaincy options for this week are Salah and Watkins. I think we can all agree on that one. So for today's toin cost, Watkins on this side because he's the fun one. Salah on this side because he's the boring one. Yeah, Francisco, you remember the toin cost. All right, good man, good man. Right, toin cost is coming up. In fact, we need to go full screen for this bad boy. Can I should I do it on like a desk so you guys can see? Hang on, I'm gonna do it on this desk here. You guys might, I think you guys can see that. You can see here. Yeah. All right, and you can see a great display of all of my shirts at the same time, and some. Christmas lights, which I never took down because I think they look kind of cool. Right. For those of you guys who are trying to decide on a captain between Salah and Watkins, leave it in the fate of the toin cost. Watkins, Salah. I hope this lands on the table. It didn't land on the table. We'll keep going until it does. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. The fact that you can't see anything, just blackness, suggests we have landed on Salah. So, Salah has won the toin cost. If you want to make your decisions that way, I mean, I guess it's a good thing. You've landed on the sensible one, right? I know a lot of you probably secretly wanted it to land on Watkins, so you just have an excuse to go differential. But leave things into the fate of the toin cost, and that's what you get. Sometimes you get what you want, sometimes you don't get what you want. And today, we got Salah. Boring one. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. How many of you guys actually have made your FPL decisions based on the toin cost in the past, by the way? That is something I'd like to know. Right, another 10 minutes has passed, so I'm going to do another check on UDOGIE. There's a lot of accounts I don't trust posting things. Nothing concrete. Nothing concrete. Still. Alright, well, it's fine. We've got 19 minutes left. We've got 19 minutes. Let's see what we can get. The remote has spoken. It certainly has. Source trust me, bro. Yeah, there's a lot of source trust me, bros. A lot of source trust me, bros. Which obviously are not good enough. They're not good enough. Are we happy with the bench list, by the way? I think we've mostly got all of the big players in there. We've got some super chats to rattle through, so I'll do them now. Yeah, you guys can I'll just leave the bench list on the screen for you guys. Right. What have we got? So Hammocks says, went Haaland/Gordon to Watkins/Saka. Okay. Leave a move Areola, Cash, Porro, Trippier, Son, Madison. Only way to get Watkins. Did I mess up? We'll see. We'll see. There's always a chance that you have messed up when you sell Haaland. And to be fair, I don't even think Gordon is a bad player to have either. I think he's a pretty good player to have. Watkins and Saka are both better than Gordon, but are they both better than Haaland? Maybe this week, but next week, not so much. So I think this week you're golden. I think you'll be happy this week. You'll get the results you want. But next game week, when Haaland plays against Bournemouth, you might find yourself hiding behind your sofa for that game. Nicole says 101 points in game week 9. Nice one, man. Got an issue. Keep Alvarez or buy Watkins. I think I would lean towards buy Watkins if you could do it for free. If you could do it for free, I would buy Watkins. Veer says, hi Dan, what do you think about Diaby and Gordon for Saka and a 4.4 million for a hit? No, don't like it. I would want to keep Diaby for this game against Luton. Francisco says, so the question is, are you going with the fate of the coin? Or the toin? Francisco, my friend, I can neither confirm nor deny. No, to be fair, I do not make my decisions based on the toin cost. Like, if I am making my decision based on the toin cost, I will tell you. But this week is not one of those weeks. I will use my own brain today. But yeah, if you don't feel like using your brain this week, then for anyone, feel free. Sometimes I don't feel like using my brain, and that's absolutely fine too. Sean Fong says, Gabriel or Simicaz, want to caveat this by saying I like them both a lot. I am leaning towards Gabriel personally. And Abdo Kabani says, Saka and Idingra in for Maddison and Neto for a -4. Oh, I'm not sure I would do that for a -4, no. I'd do that for free, but I am not quite convinced by that for a -4. If you feel strongly about it, go for it. But I don't, so I think I would not do that. To be honest, I know, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. I wish I had more straight answers for everything. But like football and FPL is more nuanced than that. I think we all appreciate that though. CJR says you don't have Trippier on the list. Well, of course I don't. If you have Trippier, you play him. Like, no doubt about that. There is, and this probably is this, you know, maybe it might be different next game week. And I think Trippier will earn a space on the bench list next week when Newcastle play against Arsenal. But really, if you've got Trippier, best defender in the game, is about to play Wolves, you play him. No doubt about that. Like, best defender in the game by far. Linus K says, I'm tempted to go against the toin cost. Hey, if you want to go against the toin cost, be my guest, my friend. Watkins is a good captain shout. Decent. He's a decent, you know, move. Decent move. Syfe says, is Diaby a captaincy contender? I don't know about that. Augustus says, when you don't use your brain, what do you usually use? Like, maybe just like my brain stem. Like, just the stem bit. There's the reptilian part of the central nervous system. We just kind of lay there and just... yeah, just decisions are made for you. And it's great. The toin cost can do that. Any early team news for Spurs? I mean, we know that Richarlison isn't starting. In fact, I probably should have mentioned this, by the way. Yeah, Richarlison's not starting. Brennan Johnson is. Son is playing as central striker. Brennan Johnson is playing, I believe, on the left, and Kulusevski on the right. So yeah, to be fair, I probably should have said that. Those of you guys who own Richarlison, you're in a bit of trouble. You're in a little bit of trouble. But there we go. Guitar Kitchen. Fantastic name, by the way. What is a guitar kitchen? Is it when people are jamming out in the kitchen? Or is it, you know, a place that cooks up a nice meal made of guitars? You know, spaghetti bolognese, but with guitar strings instead of the spaghetti. I don't know. I daren't say. But the Guitar Kitchen, a very generous $11 super chat. Thank you very much for that. Thanks for all the great info and good FPL vibes. Well, I'm glad I could bring the vibes at least. I'm keeping an eye on Ryan Gravenberch. And, interesting. And Sasha Kalajdzic from Wolves. Best wishes, everyone. Interesting. I'm not really keeping an eye on these players, to be honest. So, I mean, I'm glad some of us. Someone is. Because I've not really looked at these players too closely at all this season. They've not really stood out to me in the statistics or when I've been watching games. So I guess my eyes haven't been naturally drawn to them. But hey, you never know where a differential is going to emerge from, do you? Guitar Kitchen also says, best wishes, everyone. So yeah, good luck to everyone. Good luck to everyone. Is cash worth the captain's shout? It's far too risky for me. Not too keen. Not too keen. Play Gordon or Simicast. They're both on the bench list, right? I think Gordon's higher. I think. Yeah. Who do I get in for Foden, Martinelli, Bowen, or Diaby? Probably Bowen. Compare Saka and Son. Son's a better player than Saka. Better form, at least, anyway. But they're both great. They're both amazing. I slightly prefer Son. But that could change in a couple of weeks. Team news, UDOGIE news, blah, 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 blah. Show team gang assemble. Interesting. That would hurt to eat. Yeah, what, the guitar string spaghetti? Yeah, well, I don't know. It'd be like flossing your teeth. It might be quite healthy for you. You never know. All right, let's have another check on UDOGIE news. See, get the updates. Please, please. I just want to know. I just want to know. No one's got it. Honestly, I'm tempted to just... I'm tempted to just do the transfer. I might load it up. Just remove UDOGIE, save the headache. But we have still got 12 minutes. Usually when we hear early team news, it can be as late as 5 minutes before deadline. So just because we haven't got it yet, it doesn't mean we won't get it. Forest team news. I mean, I can share with you what I have for Forest. And like all of the teams. In fact, we'll do a very quick run through. You guys have probably seen the bench list enough by now. Let's have a look through the press conferences very quickly. So, Partey is out for a few weeks. Jesus is also going to be out for a few weeks. Nketiah is expected to start. Ramsey and Moreno still not ready. Several players have been rested midweek, including Diaby. So, Diaby is nice and rested for this game against Luton Town. And he is available, by the way. He came off the bench, Diaby, so it's not injury-related or anything like that. Buendia and Mings, long-term absentees. For Bournemouth, Neto is injured. Radu is going to start in goal. Cook is suspended. For Brentford, Hickey is going to return from his suspension. And it's very likely that Morpay will play with Mbumo and Wissa in the forward positions. And a load of players from Brentford are still out as usual. For Brighton, March has a suspected ACL. It's not been confirmed, but I think everyone kind of knows it by this point. Welbeck is also out for a very long time. I don't know if that's weeks or months, but a very long time. I'm guessing that's months. Estupinian and Lamptey, they're close to returning, but not quite yet. For Burnley, there's no new injury updates. Bayer is still out and Roberts is suspended for game week 10. For Chelsea, Reece James is going to be on the bench for tomorrow, and Nkunku, he could be back as early as game week 13. Palmer, Sterling and Jackson are the penalty takers for Chelsea. It's not just we know now that it's not just Palmer who's going to be the penalty taker. It's going to be between Palmer, Sterling and Jackson to decide between themselves who's going to take the penalties each week, I guess. A couple of super chats just whilst we take a break here. Jack Smith says start Mbumo or Gvardiol. I would back the attacker and go for Mbumo. And Matt says 2 free transfers. UDOGIE to Gabriel Simicast if nothing else. Yes, Matt, that is exactly what I would do. If you like the look of your team, you've got 2 free transfers. UDOGIE to one of those two seems like a pretty good move, particularly if we don't get UDOGIE news or we find out UDOGIE is not starting. Moving on, Crystal Palace. Henderson and Tompkins, they're still out. Eze and Elise, they are back on grass, so they should be back within a few weeks. Ferguson was injured playing for the under-21s. For Everton, Coleman is back in full training, but he lacks match fitness, so he's not going to be starting right away. Dele and Gomez are still a bit away. Young is suspended. For Fulham, Tete, Tosin, Traore, they're still out for a couple of weeks. Diop is going to be out for a little bit longer. For Liverpool, Gakpo is back and available. Robertson, Doak, Bashetic and Thiago, they're still out. Jones is still suspended. For Luton, Lockyer and Mengi are the only fit centre-backs at the club right now. Burke, Bell, Anderson, Potts, Lokonga, Clark are all out of this game week. Clark is the closest to a return of the lot, but it's not going to matter because Aston Villa have got a real opportunity there. For Manchester City, Alvarez and Foden were benched in the UCL due to fitness. Alvarez was apparently not able to play another game of 90 minutes, presumably because he's played so much recently. Foden was benched because he had a slight tightness issue, but he should be fine as well. Akanji is suspended. For Manchester United, Casemiro is going to be a late decision. He's not 100%. Wan-Bissaka has trained, and there are no updates on Shaw or Martinez, who are long-term absentees. For Newcastle, Isak picked up a groin injury. He's going to be out for a few weeks. Anderson and Murphy, they've been ruled out for a while, and Botman is still out, but is going to be back soon. For Nottingham Forest, this was the one that was asked about. There are no returning players for Game Week 10. Awani, Hudson-Odoi, Danilo Felipe, Tavares, and some other guys as well. There's a lot of players who are out right now, but there's no players returning who were previously injured. There is going to be a late decision on Elanga, however, who has missed training this week due to illness. For Sheffield United, Baldock is back in training. Lau and Osula are getting closer, and McBurney has not trained this week either. For Spurs, UDOGIE is to be assessed ahead of today's game. Yeah, we should hopefully find out more. Please give me more. Saar is fit and ready to go, and Basuma is going to return from suspension. For West Ham, Emerson is suspended after 5 yellow cards. So Foul has muscle tightness. Cresswell and Johnson are back. And for Wolves, Hodge is out for 8 weeks. There's a late call to be made on Bellegarde, and Lamina and Semedo are going to return after serving their suspensions. And that is your team news for the week. Your final team news. We did do that on the stream earlier, to be fair, but some of you guys might have missed that stream or / stream replay video. So, yeah. Right, UDOGIE. What's the latest? What's the latest? Nothing other than he's on the bus. People are saying, like, all kinds of things, you know. I really don't know. There's so many people, like, trust me bros. There's so many trust me bros on social media at the moment. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. Show team gang? Why do you want to see my team? Why do you want to see my team, guys? Just curiosity? Just curiosity? There's nothing to show about my team until we find out what the UDOGIE news is, which we don't know. I'm keeping looking though. I don't think we're gonna get it at this point. Yeah, I'm worried now. I'm worried. Usually we get the team news, but I don't think we're going to. They're just keeping it under wraps this week. Maybe in part because it's a late decision, but presumably the decision has now been made. Oh well. Nadish says, UDOGIE to Gabriel for a -4. If we find out UDOGIE is not starting, then yes, I would make that move. Salah or Saka as captain? I prefer Salah to Saka, I think. I'm not telling you what the Trust Me Bros are saying, because the Trust Me Bros cannot be trusted. That's why they're Trust Me Bros. They don't have anything. I'm not gonna get this news, am I? Right, I'm gonna load up a. I'm gonna get the transfer ready to go. Because I think we're looking like we're not going to get news now, or at least it's getting so tight that I don't want to risk it so much anymore. So I'm going to load it up. Where are you, Gabriel? Okay. Four minutes till deadline, and still nothing. Other than Trust Me Bros. I mean, like, to be fair, the saving grace of this is even if UDOGIE does start, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee he makes it to 60 minutes. If Spurs are able to go a couple of goals up, which maybe is ambitious in itself, then UDOGIE might get an early sub. This is all we care about now, guys. I know I'm the same. Fotmob says he's starting. Fotmob, no, we're not doing this again. We've done this before. I'm not doing this again. But I'll say very briefly, any team news you get from Fotmob, BBC, Google team news or live score or OneFootball or anything like that. None of that is team news. They just put out a predicted team based on it's pretty much just the last week's lineups. They just put up predicted teams, so don't pay any notice to it whatsoever. We're not doing it any further than that. Jandre says, UDOGIE to Gabriel worth a -4. Without team news, I don't think it's worth a -4. No. I don't think so. I just don't think it's worth a -4 if we don't have confirmation. If we do, then maybe it is. But like the player you replace them with, it's not even guaranteed that they're going to keep a clean sheet. So you might be down on your points. Even if UDOGIE doesn't start, you still be down. And we know UDOGIE's going to be back the following week. Alex says, Watkins over Saka and Haaland for captain. Love you. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, Watkins. Yeah, I would be looking to do that. Right, I'm doing my transfer, guys. I'm doing it. It's too late. It's too late. I'm not risking it any further. We're too close to deadline. Or am I? I'm going to give it like 30 seconds more and then I'm doing it. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm not doing it. It's done. It's done. Okay. Right. So, if I get team news in the next 30 seconds, I'm going to be fuming. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like this can't really go wrong. Even if UDOGIE does start, I think there's every chance that Gabriel outscores him. Like, every chance. So, I'm not going to beat myself up about it either way. It's the transfer I'm going to make eventually either way. So, we've done it. It's done. It's done. And, yeah, we're locked in. Do I need to save my team? No, I've got everything in the right order. Is my captain set? Yeah, it is. Yeah, you could get an attacking return from Gabriel. Yeah, definitely. I fancy Gabriel for a headed goal. I really fancy him for a headed goal this week. I'm going to end the captaincy poll as well. Actually, we'll do it after the deadline. Will Salah have over 100% EO? Yeah. Yeah, he will. He will. Did I take a hit for the transfer? Oh, no way. No way. No, I would not take a hit for this. Without knowing the information, I would not take a hit for it. I would just, hope UDOGIE starts and then I've got Taylor there on my bench. There we go. Right. Guys. Deadline is passed. We're locked in. We're locked in. There we have it. Game week 10. Deadline is done. We made it through. We made it through another week of stress. And it all came down to one decision based on whether UDOGIE was going to be available or not. Which we still don't know. We still don't know. I personally have taken the risk and transferred UDOGIE out for Gabriel. It is done. Some of you guys would have started UDOGIE and are hoping that he does play, which is fair enough. And one more thing. A few of you guys noticed this. I didn't want to make a big deal. I really did not want to make a big deal out of this because I don't want people following me into the pits of hell. But I captained Watkins. Yeah. I don't know if that was a good idea or not. But I've done it. It's, there's potential there, isn't there? There is potential there for a big mega score. It's, yeah, like I said, I didn't want people to just follow me aimlessly into the Watkins captaincy because Salah is the safe pick. But I've gone for Watkins, and I'm terrified. I'm terrified. It's brave, but like it's fun, right? Oh, I may live to regret this decision. But if Salah doesn't score a penalty, All we need is Nottingham Forest to keep defending well, and Salah to not score a penalty, and everything will be fine. I think. We just need Forest to do their Foresty thing. So yeah, I went against the coin toss. Maybe that was the maybe that's the risk. I don't know. Salah penalty miss. Oh, yeah, I mean that would be even better, wouldn't it? Surely he can't keep getting penalties. I don't know. I've got to live in fear now. I've got to live in fear going against the Salah captaincy. But Red Bull Vodka said, I followed you aimlessly. Red Bull Vodka, you are the reason why I have to hide my team. Quite frankly. Angad says, haha, you're so stressed. I can tell. Yes, you're right, I am. I am stressed. Standard says I'm a Liverpool fan and I really don't trust us to score more than 2. I agree. I don't think Liverpool will score more than 2 goals. But it's just going to be like. But the last times that Liverpool have been scoring 2 goals, it has been Salah, hasn't it? But like honestly, Darwin is in good form. Luis Diaz is always looking dangerous. Szoboszlai's taking lots of long shots. There's always like corners and stuff. Van Dijk to pop in there. There's lots of ways that Liverpool can score goals. It's not just Salah. It just looks like it's all Salah at the moment because of the penalties. But I think if you take away the penalties, you'll actually see that Liverpool are scoring from all kinds of different ways. We'll see, I guess. Salah hat-trick incoming. Oh, please don't. Don't do it. Guy says, unshow team. I'm jealous. Really? You shouldn't be jealous. You should be jealous because this is a team that lives in fear. But I've gone with my gut. I've gone with my gut on this one. Because I was close between Watkins and Salah. Really close. But I decided to go with my gut on this one. I think without Saka as well. Haaland, I wouldn't mind captaining him, but I think it's a good week to go against Haaland. Druva says 43% of Liverpool's goals / assists is Salah, including penalties. Even including penalties, that's not like... It's not like super high, is it? Maybe I'm just... I'm convincing myself. Maybe I'm just convincing myself. Gravenberg looked unreal against Toulouse. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a player with potential, isn't he? But we'll see. We'll see how it transfers into the Premier League, right? There we go. Watkins is being rested after Europa Conference League. I very much doubt it, Kyle. I very much doubt it. Nick Kyle says, I went Botman and Maddison to Gabriel / Saka for a -4. Thoughts? It's okay. I mean, if you needed a defender to play, then it's okay. Taylor says, what do you think of Luis Diaz, bro? I mean, he wouldn't be my first choice, but he's okay. Nunez masterclass incoming, mate. I really genuinely rate Darwin Nunez. I think he's come full circle. I think he's on his redemption arc. I think he really is on his redemption arc. I'm glad to see there's a few fellow Watkins captainers in the mix. I mean, like, let's close the vote off. Let's close the vote. So the vote ended up 63% Salah, 20% Watkins, 8% Haaland, 7% Saka. So with 5.7 thousand votes, that means I'm in the company of like at least 1,000 people, like 1,100 and something people that were in the stream today. So like there is some company there, and misery loves company. FPL Turkey says, Dan, is your wife happy the deadline is Friday and not Saturday? You know what she is? Because she's such a lazy tyke and never wakes up on a Saturday. Well, the thing is, when she's working day shifts, she has to get up at like 5 a.m. So when she's off, she just goes the opposite way and then will wake up at like 11 a.m. So today, she's not working tomorrow, so she would have missed the deadline tomorrow. She would have been asleep for the deadline tomorrow. But she's, I think she's done a team, which is good. I needed to just get her to do her transfers like not on the deadline day, really. Edward says I bottled captaining Darwin, instead went for Saka. I think you've made the right decision out of those two. Oran says hat-trick Salah, I can feel it in my blackcurrant squash. Well, let me try and feel it in my blackcurrant squash, see if we get the same result. No, I'm not getting it. Not getting it. Michael says if you had Saka, would you have captained him over Watkins? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Any UDOGIE news? I know it's you know, it's 8 minutes past deadline and we're still waiting for UDOGIE news. Yeah, we've still got nothing. They've done well of keeping this one under wraps. What shirt you got on? I like it, says Andy. This is the Forward Madison drip kit from a couple of years ago. It's the first... It was the first shirt in my crazy shirt football collection, which is now very large. Lots of crazy shirts now. But this was the first one I got a couple of years ago, and I love it. It's a few years old now, though, but it doesn't matter. It's still very nice. It's still very nice. What do you think of Longstaff as my cheap midfielder? How cheap is Longstaff? How do we do it? How would I even find that out? Let's go on here and find out. 4.9 million. For 4.9 million, not really. I think I would prefer Soshek, Adingra, Palmer to Longstaff personally, but hey, it's a bit of fun, right? Andy said I sold all my shirts, used to collect them. I have over 100. Wow. Maybe I'll get there one day. I think I got about 30. And Ketia for Slanke. Harris, we've missed the deadline, my friend. There's no option there. Unless you've already done it. But Slanky is fine for this week, to be fair. Slanky's absolutely fine. Right. I do need to go soon. Very soon. Because I need to cook dinner. But I want to get UDOGIE news first, really. Which is my favourite shirt? This one would definitely be one of them. I don't know if it is my favourite shirt. But it's up there. What else? It's in the wash, but the Arsenal away shirt from last season I love. And, to be fair, this shirt I love as well. AC Milan. Hang on, let's go full screen. AC Milan, third shirt from this season. Really, really nice design. Yeah, I would say that one, this one, the Arsenal away shirt from last season. Maybe throw this one in there as well, the Norwich shirt from last year. Yeah, those are probably my favourites. But there's a few others that I love. Well, I love them all. That's why I bought them. What is for dinner? I'm going to do a tuna pasta bake. We're going to do a tuna pasta bake. I've got all the ingredients out. So we're ready to go there. Still no doggy news. Are we serious right now? Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? Can you stream how I cook? I don't think anyone would enjoy that. I don't think anyone would enjoy that. No, I'm not a great cook. I'm a very bad cook actually. FPL Noak says foot champs time. Wish me luck. Great stream. Good luck. Good luck. I'm gonna need it as well. I'm probably do a couple of games tonight and do most of them tomorrow. Cooking stream. No way. No way. The pink Arsenal shirt from last season was crazy. I didn't actually like it that much. I know a lot of people liked it, but I wasn't that keen, so I didn't bother. We're not doing a cooking stream. We're not doing it. What are you currently watching in Netflix or Amazon? Like right now, I've watched loads of stuff recently. But what I'm watching like right now is the new anime called Pluto, which only went on Netflix like 2 days ago. But really good so far. It's like a mystery, like a murder mystery kind of anime. And it's by the same guy who did Monster, which is like one of the best animes of all time, in my opinion. So yeah, enjoying that. It's like a neo-noir murder mystery anime, which I'm enjoying. So anime fans, if you enjoyed Monster, if you enjoyed Death Note, and you kind of want a cyberpunk version of Death Note, I guess, then I do recommend Pluto. There we go. What are you guys watching? What are you guys watching on Netflix right now? Any recommendations? Juice WRLD says, I've just started watching the Hundreds. I've not heard of that. Scissor 7? I've heard of that, but I don't know why. And I don't know if it's good. I've never watched it. I watched Jujutsu Kaisen. I started watching that, but like it didn't grab me in the first 10 minutes, and I don't have a very long attention span, so apparently I gave up on that one. But I will try it properly soon. Blue Lock. Yeah, I need to watch that at some point or another. Imagine watching anime as a grown man. Lots of people watch anime as grown men. It is not the I think depending on where you are in the world, there still is some stigma attached to it, but for a lot of the world, like it is very normal to watch anime as an adult. A lot of anime is aimed at adults, and I don't just mean that kind of anime. Keep your head out of the gutter. But no, there's lots of like animes aimed at like a slightly older audience, like people in their like 20s and 30s. So yeah. Certainly if you're in Japan, even if you're in the in USA or in South America, Latin America, or in the Caribbean or in Africa, there would be no stigma about watching anime as an adult. I think it's more of a European thing that we don't. It's not as popular in Europe as it is in other areas of the world, but there's still an underground culture of which I am a part. Dragon Ball Z is the GOAT. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I need to rewatch that, but it's just a time-consuming one, isn't it? Dragon Ball Z. David Beckham documentary is good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I bashed that out in like 2 days. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Really, really good stuff, and taught me a lot of stuff I didn't know, which is good as well. Like, obviously, didn't really know much about football of the 90s. So, yeah. Anime Bros Assemble. That's right, Alex. Anime Bros Assemble, indeed. Guy dissed anime and is sat on an FPL stream on a Friday night. Great point, Jason. Great point. Great point. Okay. Team news. We got a doggy news. A doggy is not even in the squad. Not even in the squad. He's with the squad, but he's not in the squad. Madison and Son are starting as expected. But yeah, there we go. Crikey. How do you feel about that? How do you guys feel about that? Anyone been burned by that? Anime watch along stream, imagine. Shreyam says, people who say to grow up are the ones who need to grow up. They're the ones that are stuck in previous generations. You know, that is actually so true. It is always people, you know, who are kind of stuck in the past. Like, time moves on. Adults watch anime now. Get over it. Jeremy says, you chose wisely. Yeah, I've got away with that. I got away with that. How are you guys feeling? Some people feeling good, some people feeling not so good. Pavel says, I feel great. Knight says, I've been cooked. Yeah. Dapro Duct says, bench player comes on them. Hey, if you got Taylor against Bournemouth, you never know, it could work out. Kaja says, so happy about my UDOGIE sell. You know, I'm feeling pretty good about it too. J-Hat says, I've got Colwell to come off the bench, so I'm good. Yeah, I think you're in a good situation. Yeah, Salike also has Colwell on the bench. Sarah has Bolly on the bench. That's not so great. That's not so great. Matthias says, did you play free hit? That is the biggest compliment an FPL team can have, right? If someone says to you, when you haven't played the free hit, oh my God, your team looks great. Have you played a free hit or something? And actually you haven't, then it's like, yes, my team is clearly very good. So thank you for the compliment, but no, I have not played my free hit. This is just my team. Oh, right. Yeah, people who sold UDOGIE, we won this one. We won this one. But we did it without information. So is it skill? It could have gone either way. Let's be perfectly honest. It could have gone either way. We didn't know for sure UDOGIE was going to be out. We took a risk by selling him, and it seems to have paid off. For me, it's paid off because I don't really want to play Taylor, and I kind of like Gabriel in this game, and I wanted to do it eventually anyway, so I'm happy. I'm pretty happy. Sean says, did you watch One Punch Man? Certainly did. Wait, when is the new season coming out of that? We need that. We need the new season of One Punch Man. Yes, indeed. Alex says, I did UDOGIE to Gabriel last night, -4. Pretricore says, getting lucky is skill. Yeah, I guess in FPL it is, isn't it? Edward is the latest Taylor fan, it seems. Fair play, fair play. BS says, no trips, no Haaland. What? How can you have neither of those players? I thought the idea is if you can sacrifice one of them, you're able to get the other. Oh. Deary me. Matthias says, didn't watch your pod last week and your team looks different. It doesn't look that different. I made a double transfer last week. And one transfer this week. So I guess it will be three transfers, 3 players different, I guess. I wildcarded back in Gameweek 7, I guess. Ganswood says, Football Manager 2024 is out on Monday. Are you buying and playing it? I've never played Football Manager. I've never been a Football Manager guy. Ethan says, what's your current rank? I'm sitting 500,000 overall with a similar team. I'm like 190 something, I think. Yeah, 195,000. So I think I'm doing okay. I'm not, obviously this is not like an amazing season for me, but I think I'm doing pretty decently. Particularly compared to like, obviously a lot of the other content creators and experts are struggling a little bit this year. So I think I'm doing pretty well within that context, I guess. Driva says, someone said Gabriel own goal and now I can't sleep. Sleep well, my friend, because Gabriel is scoring a hat-trick. He's not. Oh my God. Guys, can you imagine a Gabriel brace and clean sheet and 3 bonus? You know what? It's not that unrealistic. It's really not that unrealistic. Oh my word. Oh, honestly, I would, I don't know what I would do. I would take my shirt off and run around my town. Shouting Gabriel, Gabriel, Gabriel over and over again, whilst wearing my swinging my Arsenal shirt around my head. Yes, that is what we'll do if Gabriel scores a brace, clean sheet, and 3 bonus points. I would love that. Right, we're going to leave it there because I do need to cook. And I don't just mean my FPL team. But, no, I need to cook. I need to cook dinner. Guys, thank you so much for watching again. Really appreciate you guys. I will be back on... See, I usually do a wildcard video on a Sunday, but I feel like everyone's done their wildcard already. I probably still will do a wildcard type video on Sunday, but maybe we'll reframe it a little bit. But we'll be back for more videos from Sunday. But for today, I am done. Good luck, everyone, for your FPLs. I hope you will do really, really well, as long as you don't do better than me. But aside from that, thank you so much for watching once again. And I'll see you later, mates.